going on? It's your boy, Sheep the Wise. Welcome back to Vader's Lair. I hope you guys are hype. Dude, it's always popping just for any. You already know, the Vader's Lair theme is fire. We gotta get some new songs in here at some point. But the GOAT song will never go away, ever. It is so good. It's so good. What up, though, everybody in the chat? What up, everybody in the lair? I hope you're doing well today. Let's get it going, and let's get this thing started right, because the Mandalorian is around the corner. We're just hours away from our watch party for Chapter 20, Season 3, Episode 4, and then, of course, we're going to be doing a watch party for Season 2, Episode 14 of Star Wars The Bad Batch, and I am hyped. I'm friggin' hyped, man. It's about to be a fun night. Welcome in, everybody in the lair. Let's do it. Welcome in, guys. So the audio, I'm still trying to fix that little transition there, but I hope you guys are having a fantastic night so far. We have a lot to talk about. There's a lot of Star Wars stuff to talk about. Not only do we have 2 episodes of Star Wars tonight dropping that I think are going to be a lot bigger than people might even realize, but we also had some news about some writers leaving a Star Wars movie. We had some news about Jedi Survivor and an official gameplay trailer, or I guess you could say storyline trailer. I don't know. I guess we'll get into it here in a little bit. But there's a lot of stuff to go over tonight in this preview. A lot of fun things we're going to be talking about in this stream. So I'm glad to have you all with me tonight, and I'm definitely excited for it. Don Clouderman, it's good to see you. Ashhammer, my boy, good to see you in the chat. Smalls, what up? I hope you all are doing well. MCU OG, always good to see the OG in the chat. Much love to everybody, though. Good to see you all here. Let's dive straight into it, and let's talk about The Mandalorian first. I think The Mandalorian's a good starting point, especially because that'll be the first thing that we watch later tonight, and it's looking to be a good episode. Carl Weathers recently tweeted. Of course, Carl Weathers is the actor, legendary Hollywood actor who played Apollo Creed and all these characters, but he's the guy that plays Grief Karga. He's directed a couple episodes in Season 2, I believe. Did he direct one in Season 1? I don't think he did. But now he's back to direct in Season 3, and he's going to be directing tonight's episode, and he said that tonight's episode is titled The Foundling. And I want to kind of start there, because that's my first kind of speculation for what tonight could be about. So if tonight is The Foundling for Season 3, Episode 4, Chapter 20, could it be about Grogu? I mean, last week, it almost sounded like Grogu said his first words with, this is the way. He was like, you could tell he was trying to say this is the way. Like, it was right after Din and Bo had both said it. He's been around Din enough to hear him say that plenty of times. I think the kid is starting to pick up on the Mandalorian way, and he's going to say it sooner rather than later. I think that's going to be his first words, either something along the lines of Din or Dad or something, or it's going to be this is the way. So, if tonight is about Grogu, though, my first thought, of course, after last episode, leaving us with Bo and Din kind of being reinducted back into the Mandalorian culture, this would be the first time that Grogu is technically a foundling. When you really think about it, yes, Grogu was with Din back in Season 1. Din rescued him and everything, kind of took him in as his son in a way. At least it didn't start that way, but it became that slowly during Season 1. Season 2, it really is that. The two of them are bonding closer and closer together as Din is sent on this mission by the Armorer to go take him to the Jedi. She's like, bring him to his own kind. This is the way. And he's like, so he's a foundling? And she's like, for now, kind of thing, until you bring him to his people. Well, Din brought him to his people, which, yes, under his care at that time, he technically was a foundling until he brought Grogu to Luke Skywalker, which then he was back in his Jedi training. Well, now Grogu was back under Din's care after the Book of Boba Fett, But at that point, Din had taken off his helmet, so technically he was an apostate, which means Grogu wouldn't have been a foundling because Din wasn't even a Mandalorian himself at the time. So I think now that Din is once again redeemed for taking off his helmet, Grogu would officially be a foundling. What do you guys think, though? Do you think Foundling could be about Grogu? Is it going to be about Paz Vizsla's Foundling, or like his son, who we saw in episode 1 getting kind of indoctrinated into the Mandalorian cult, or the Children of the Watch? I don't know. I have a lot of thoughts with this episode. Real quick, I do want to say, while it is nice to see everybody in the chat, and I do appreciate every single one of you guys for being here, try to keep the spoilers out of the chat. I don't see any at the moment, I believe, but I just wanted to say I know that there's some speculation and some spoilers out there potentially for either the Mandalorian season 3 or other Star Wars projects, and we're kind of straying away from spoilers here on the channel, so if you guys could keep them out of the chat, it would definitely be appreciated. I don't really want to see anything before the episodes drop. And I don't like, I'm cool with speculation all day. Every day, speculation is cool. But if you know something, maybe throw it in as speculation, but don't actually act like you know it, because I'm going to be upset if you spoil something for me. No spoilers, please. Thank you, Kylie. Yes, Ashhammer says Grogu is too young to say the lines, so it'll be a while until he gets his own ceremony. Yes, but technically he's 50. I mean, he could be indoctrinated if he all he has to really say is "this is the way." You know what I mean? No, you're probably right, Ashhammer. It is possible that Grogu can't recite the words of the Mandalorian culture or whatever. Maybe that's kind of something that happens when they become an adult Mandalorian, though. Like, that could be the transition from a foundling to kind of going off on your own. I mean, maybe that's like really young, but I mean, think about how young Sabine was in Rebels at the time too, and I don't know. I feel like that could be kind of a transition where getting your helmet makes you go from a foundling to a Mandalorian, but maybe they're all foundlings. I don't know. Hello there, Baby Yoda. It's good to see you in the chat. Don Cotterman says, I know nothing about this one. Good. That's awesome, because I think it is going to be a really fun episode. So along the lines of it being titled The Foundling, and it potentially being about Grogu, there's very little footage that we haven't seen for like the trailers, basically. So of the trailer footage we did see for The Mandalorian Season 3 so far, we've seen most of it. And the only footage we really haven't seen is a few scenes on Navarro with the Children of the Watch, or Paz Vizsla and all of them, going to basically rescue Navarro or save them maybe from the pirates. So maybe we're going to see that this episode, especially because Din and Bo were, reunited with the Children of the Watch, or reinducted back into it, I guess. Which is hilarious to think about, Bo-Katan being a former member of Death Watch and now kind of being brought back into Death Watch. it's funny. But with that being the case, that being some of the only footage, the only other footage other than that I can think of at the moment that we haven't seen is Grogu's Order 66 flashback, which they kept putting in like every single trailer. And if you guys want, we can pull up the Order 66 flashback from the trailers and what we might see tonight, potentially. And we can also pull up the ones from Book of Boba Fett, because I've compared the two, and they look slightly different. There's 3 Jedi instead of 2, or, there's slight differences in the hallway. There's a lot of little differences in the flashback that we see in the Book of Boba Fett and the one that we get in the trailers for The Mandalorian Season 3. So do you guys think that it's gonna be the same flashback? Is it a different one? Are we gonna finally see what happens to Grogu after all this time? Like, I mean, I've been theorizing that maybe, just maybe, the Bad Batch end up rescuing Grogu from Mount Tantus, and we're getting close to that, where I've thought for a long time maybe the Bad Batch or an animated show is gonna kind of cross over with a live action show in some aspect. The Bad Batch would be the perfect show for the Mandalorian to cross over with the two being so heavily involved with cloning and different things. So I've thought for a long time that Order 66 flashback of Grogu we see back in the Book of Boba Fett, maybe he doesn't get rescued at all by anyone. I mean, Ahsoka says that he goes in, or his mind goes dark, and like he's taken from the temple. That's literally the verbiage she uses. So I think that those stormtroopers end up taking Grogu, or someone within, the Empire takes Grogu, and I think he gets sent to Mount Tantus for cloning purposes, basically. I mean, my thought process along this crazy theory that I've had is that Palpatine has been taking Force-sensitive children with higher midichlorian counts and using them for his cloning purposes to try and basically manipulate the midichlorians to extend his life, to make him immortal. I mean, that's really what the Sith want. And so my crazy whole theory with this is that Palpatine has been taking all these kids since back in the Clone Wars, and Grogu is one of the highest midichlorian counts they've ever seen. And once Order 66 was enacted, Palpatine had specifically part of the order to take this secret hidden 50-year-old, or at the time he would have been like 20-something-year-old Grogu, and use him for his midichlorian counts. Something we actually learned from this past episode with Dr. Pershing that a lot of people are like, what the heck was the point of this episode, and different things. Something we learned when Dr. Pershing was talking about the cloning stuff was that from the Kaminoans research, they were able to kind of learn a way to replicate two individuals' DNA and make a new, like a perfect clone, basically. So what do you think Grogu's blood was being used by Pershing for? To use his DNA to try and create a Force-sensitive clone. That's literally probably what Pershing was doing. So having that episode with Pershing, I think, is going to be exponentially important down the line. And I think that it's possible, as we get closer to next week, having a 2-week Bad Batch finale, this week kind of having a I guess you could say, semi-finale episode leading us into the 2-part finale next week, and kind of the mid-season kickoff of The Mandalorian. What if we see a flashback of Order 66 and Grogu tonight? The Bad Batch end up going to Mount Tantus next week in their 2-part finale, and they end up rescuing Grogu from Mount Tantus. I mean, it would kind of line up if right after Order 66, Grogu is taken to Mount Tantus. The Bad Batch probably like almost a year later end up rescuing him. Who knows what happened during that time, but I think it could work. Hey, obviously, Subdude, it's good to see you in the chat. What is we thinking, though? Do you guys think I'm crazy? Do you think that my theories are getting a little far-fetched tonight? I'm having fun with it, man. I'm definitely excited for the Bad Batch and for the Mandalorian. It's going to be a fun night, man. It's going to be a fun night. I mean, this is the mid-season as well for the Mandalorian Season 3. Being episode 4, we're going to be halfway through. Kind of wild. And the other thing about tonight's episode that I haven't even said yet, it's co-written by the GOAT himself, Dave Filoni. Yes, indeed. It is co-written by Dave Filoni. So we could be in for a big one. You know, a lot of the Dave Filoni episodes have either introduced legacy characters or been about legacy characters. So maybe we're going to get some legacy characters tonight. I don't know. That would be pretty freaking dope. Mind blown, says Kylie. Yes, good. I'm glad to have blown your mind. Dawn says, yes, we are missing 60 or 18 likes, please. Smash the like button. I appreciate it. Small says, where's my Pokemon emoji? I don't know. It's missing, apparently. MYKKI says, no spoiling, please. No, please. Keep the spoilers away. Alright. So, we got any other crazy speculation for The Mandalorian tonight? It being titled The Foundling. I've had some thoughts. With Paz Vizsla already being so grumpy about Din Djarin and Bo-Katan being brought back into the cult. You know, it was hilarious after seeing Bo-Katan like kind of mouth drop. She's like, really? You're gonna let me in? You're gonna let me into the Children of the Watch? Like, I was a former member of Death Watch. All right. Din Djarin's like, all right, I'm back in. Like all the people are like, yo, welcome in, and then you got Paz Vizsla standing there going, you gotta be kidding me. You know what I mean? Like, it was freaking great. I've been wondering though, with the title being the Foundling, could we get kind of a rivalry between Grogu being the Foundling of Din Djarin, the owner of the Darksaber, and then the Foundling of Paz Vizsla, continuing the Vizsla clan name. The Foundling of, Vizsla being jealous of Grogu, or like, trying to beef with Grogu. That would be freaking funny to me. Small says Ahsoka made an appearance. I don't know about that. Rosario Dawson did post on Instagram this week, and I saw some people talking about this, that it's going to be a fun episode this week, or she thinks it's going to be a fun episode this week, or something along those lines. I'm paraphrasing. But she said something along those lines of it's going to be a fun episode this week. So it got a lot of fans thinking maybe we're going to see Ahsoka tonight. Again, it is a Dave Filoni co-written episode. He's not directing on it. Again, it's going to be Carl Weathers directing. But I think the fact that it is a Dave Filoni episode, it's definitely not out of the realm of the possibilities that we could be getting Ahsoka. I'm here for it. Tim must be asleep. Yeah, hopefully he's getting some rest. If he's out there, shout out to you, my brother. Thank you for trying to help me with my mental health. I appreciate you, man. Tim's the GOAT. Tim is truly the GOAT. Saber Smith says, okay, I'm back and ready for some Star Wars. Been knee deep in Breaking Bad episode reports. I don't know what the episode reports are, but Breaking Bad is awesome, man. I've seen the show a couple of times. My brother recently finally finished it, and I had to sit down and watch the last 3 episodes with him because it's just that good of a show, man. It really is. Smash that like button. Saber Smooth, much love to see you in the chat, by the way. Small says, written by Dave, it would make sense. It would make sense if we do get something, at least in terms of the future of where we're going. And I see some people kind of questioning, oh, where's the plot this season? We're doing so many things. It's like, patience. The plots will come. We're only 3 episodes in. I know I was just saying we're almost halfway through the show, you know what I mean, or through the season. But at the same time, we're 3/8 of the way in right now. Like, we have a lot of story to tell. There's at least another 4 hours probably of content coming. Speaking of which, I think tonight's episode is supposed to be about 30 minutes, not including the preview or the preview and intro and the credits, I guess you could say. So it's about 30-minute episode of actual episode. So I'm excited for that. I think that's still a good amount of episode to be getting on a week-to-week basis. Speaking of week-to-week basis, by the way, I can't stress this enough. Lucasfilm, if you ever see one of these, I doubt it. I'm not cool enough. But Lucasfilm, if you ever see one of these, please. The midnight releases. I mean, this is really a Disney thing, probably. But Disney, please. The midnight releases are killing all of us. Slowly. I mean, probably more quickly than slowly. But please. 9 p.m. Eastern. Okay, 9 p.m. Pacific. I think that's reasonable, Disney. Come on, work with me here. The midnight releases here in Pacific time is not working for everybody. You know what I mean? I can't wait to watch this episode, says Brandon Alvarado. Me too. Gunslinger says, been watching Picard and loving it. I've never been super into Star Trek, but that's what's up, dude. I gotta get into some of that. Saber Smith says, my students have been watching and writing papers for each episode. I need some Star Wars. Me too, man. And I think we're gonna whole ton this year. Your students are gonna have pages full. You know what I mean? They're gonna have a lot to talk about. A lot of reports are coming. Saber Smith, it's good to see that, man. Brandon Alvarado says 30 minutes. Wow. Small says, I can't wait to see the show Roland. Not sure if I'm familiar. Anakin Skywalker, good to see you in the chat, my apprentice. I played Star Wars Mysteries of the Sith back in 1999. Dude, That's pretty wild. I was born back in 1999. What Chief said, Disney. Yes, please. I've heard from so many people. It's painful, man. it's bad for our mental health. Gunslinger, yo! Much love for the $6.99 super. Says, missed you the past few weeks, brother. Super stoked you are keeping it positive. Always, my dude. Always. It's always a good time to be a positive fan in the Star Wars space. I don't think it's ever a bad time to celebrate this thing that we all love, Star Wars. You know what I mean? We take it too seriously sometimes. It's not the end of the world when things like Damon Lindelof leaving the new movie happen. So let's talk about that. Let's transition over, because there was I guess I'll just be straight up, a not so good report last night. It was kind of upsetting. Not upsetting, but it was like, come on, Lucasfilm, Star Wars, Disney. This is an issue at this point. It's not what you want to see as a Star Wars fan at all. But let me pull it up and let's share this article with you guys. I think that I got this from Above the Line. Is that what this is? Above the Line is where this article is from, or at least the article that I got is from. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. But it says, Star Wars exclusive, Damon Lindelof and Justin Britt Gibson exit Shireen Abid Chinoy's top secret movie. Let's check it out. All right. So it says, there's been a disturbance in the Force as screenwriters Damon Lindelof and Justin Britt Gibson have exited the Star Wars project. Shireen Abid Chinoy remains slated to direct. So the movie is still happening. Let's get that out of the way right out of the gate. And thank you again, Gunslinger, for the $6.99 super, dude. I really do appreciate it, man. Each one of those supers is a big help to the channel. So thank you all for your support. And thank you, Gunslinger. Thank you, my friend. Getting back into the article, it says, Above the Line has exclusively learned this, and Lindelof and Britt Gibson turned in a draft of the script in mid-February and apparently had parted ways from the project just several days later. According to sources, Lucasfilm had already had a new writer on board, although ATL was Above the Line was unable to ascertain their identity. Production is slated to start in February 2024 ahead of the film's planned release date on December 19th of 2025. So that's the thing. Like the headline of this article from a lot of different people that had the same kind of news and article to break basically said that Damon Lindelof and Justin Britt Gibson had left the Star Wars project, and that's kind of all the headline had said. A lot of Star Wars fans in the Twitter space and just online were freaking out, and I think in some aspects rightfully so. Like, I get where a lot of fans are coming from being upset with this, because there's a long list of different directors and creatives and people who have been signed on and announced for a project or a big movie for Star Wars, and then it's never happened. I mean, the list goes on. It's continuing. You know what I mean? And this time it happened to be writers, which I tweeted out. I was like, I don't see this as that big of a deal. Like, and I don't, to be honest. Like, I'm not here to say it's not kind of bad news. It's not great news. It's never good news to see this kind of stuff. But it does happen all the time in the industry. And it even happened with Rogue One, which had writers and people working on the production and had a big chunk of the movie filmed. And a good chunk of the way through that, they took it all, Tony Gilroy took over, rewrote a lot of it, reshot a lot of the scenes as well. So it's not like stuff like this doesn't happen a lot in movies, let alone in Star Wars. It does, and especially under Disney Star Wars. It happens a lot. It happens a lot. It does. But, and no, that's the thing, KG. I don't even think this is the real. I wish I could. Okay. We got to continue on, because you guys don't, that a lot of people are going to say creative differences or it's Kathleen Kennedy's fault. It's not. I mean, maybe it is Kathleen Kennedy's fault, but it's not. So let's read the article a little bit more. So again, they turned in a script in mid-February and parted days just a few days later. it wasn't like they were, working on this a long time either, which people think that they've been working on it for all this time. It's like, dude, I only heard about the Lindelof thing within the last like month or two, personally. Like I know some people were covering it, and it kind of slipped my mind at the time. It was like, I don't even know who Damon Lindelof is. I'm straight up, like I honestly don't. And so it goes on to say though that plot details for the movie, because it's still under production, again slated to release in December 29th or December 19th of 2025. Plot details remain under wraps, but the top secret project is going to be unveiled at Star Wars Celebration next month. So it's still even slated to be shown at Star Wars Celebration. People are tripping over it. But it says they're going to be revealing what it is next month at Celebration, along with its title and the brief synopsis of what it's going to be about. Though don't expect any casting announcements just yet. And again, we are still a little over 2 years away from this movie, so people, we got time. They're still figuring it out. The director is still on board. They're figuring it out. They already have a new writer, although they're not telling people who it is, I guess. So that's fine. And here we go with the most important part of this whole thing. Lindelof recently had casted doubt on his involvement in the Star Wars universe in a recent interview with Slash Films at SXSW, where he said the following: "I'll just say that for a reason that I can't get into on this Sunday morning, on this day, the degree of difficulty is extremely, extremely, extremely high," Lindelof had said. "It can be a great, if it can't be great," he said, "it shouldn't exist. That's all I'll say, because I have the same association with it as you do," he said, which is, it's the first movie I saw sitting on my dad's lap at 4 years old, May of 77. I think it's possible that sometimes when you hold something in such high relevance and esteem, or such high regard, as I paraphrase here, you start to get in the kitchen and you just go, maybe I shouldn't be cooking. Maybe I should just be eating. We'll just leave it at that, he said. So that's literally what David Lindelof said before this news broke about working on Star Wars, that working on it was extremely, extremely, extremely difficult. And maybe that is creative differences. I'm not going to act like a bunch of other creatives have had difficulty working on Star Wars or have been removed from Star Wars. It's happened. But I think this might be part of the issue, especially after the sequels. And I'm not trying to blame fans or anything here, but we got to be honest with ourselves. The fandom has kind of made it hard to make a movie. I'm going to be real. It kind of has. Like, look at the sequels. Everybody craps on those. I haven't watched them in a couple of years myself. But literally, like, I'm at a loss for words right now, because it's just, they've made it hard for them to make a movie now. Like, Solo wasn't even a bad movie, but because it came out after Last Jedi and people were, completely divided after that movie, a lot of people chose not to go see it, or it was a Solo movie, so who the heck cares? It's going to be on Disney Plus one day anyway, you know what I mean? I think a lot of people go into Star Wars now getting these projects, being a director or a writer, being a creative who probably envisioned being, one of the first movies they ever saw being Star Wars back in 97 or 77. Sorry, 1977 was what I was trying to say. But back in the day, seeing that for the first time, heck, one of the first movies I saw was Revenge of the Sith, so I understand the feeling that he's conveying here. They go into the kitchen, though, as he says, expecting to cook a Star Wars masterpiece, and when they get into the kitchen, they go, what did I get myself into? I don't know if I can make a Star Wars that all of the fandom is gonna like. Like, first of all, you're not gonna do that, because there's gonna be at least one fan somewhere that doesn't like it. Second of all, try being a creative and trying to make a perfect Star Wars movie that's, feeling like you're not going to be the sole reason people hate it. You know what I mean? Like, whether you're the director or the writer, like, put yourself in their shoes as you begin to start that, and then they write their first draft and go, I don't think we can do this. If it's not going to be great, I don't think we should make it. You know what I mean? Like, how many times do you think that's happened with some of the creatives that have already been there? So, just what I'm saying. And Solo was great. I liked Solo a lot, Gunslinger, and it had the same kind of issues where there was other directors on it, and then Ron Howard came in to finish up the movie. You know what I mean? Like, this is a reoccurring thing in Star Wars at this point. And I will say, Lucasfilm, you gotta figure it out, man. You gotta figure it out. You gotta find some people that are dedicated and gonna make the movie, or that you don't have creative differences with, if that's the case. Like, whatever it is, you guys gotta figure it out. And I get why some people are tripping out about it, because it's annoying. It's annoying to see, and I've talked about it before. But I still think that there's hope for the 2025 movie. I don't think that this necessarily means that it's going to be canceled by any means. It still seems like it's in production to me. There's a writer already working on the writing process as we speak. I think that we can breathe a sigh of relief knowing that they are continuing to work on movies, and I don't think that they're just rushing into it by any means. Like, I think the fact that this happened back in February, which is already almost 2 months ago, you know what I mean? Like, they're figuring it out. And I have trust still that Lucasfilm will figure it out. Because they're already putting out awesome content on the TV side, in my opinion. Maybe you disagree, but I personally think that they're doing fantastic on the television side. So I think whenever they do, take their time to make this next Star Wars movie, it's going to be a good one. All right, let's see what we're saying in the chat. Sorry for going on my little rant there. Lions Mania, what up? Good to see you in the chat. All they had to do is not destroy the sequel trilogy, and this never happened, bro. I mean, I guess, like, it's all a matter of perspective on what movies you like, but I don't even hate the sequels. Like, I don't think that they ruined it by any means. Like, that's part of the reason I do like The Mandalorian as much as I do. I think it's gonna bridge the gap to make it make sense to us more, like the Clone Wars did for the prequels for some people. Heck, I grew up with the prequels, so it already kind of worked for me because I was a kid at the time and everything. But to say that the Clone Wars doesn't enhance the experience of the prequels, that's just not true. It does. Michael Cole, win. I don't know, win. If you're talking about our watch party, we're going to be doing that at 11:30 Pacific time. Mike Porter, what up? It's the freaking middle of the night. For me, it's only 9:10, my guy. It's not that late for me. Yo, Darth Weapon, what up, my guy? Good to see you. Star Wars is always awesome to me as well. Mike Porter. Sabersmith said, I would rather them take a long time or take their time than to rush something. I remember how long we had to wait for Return of the Jedi. And that's facts, man. I think as Star Wars fans, in some aspect, we should be used to waiting for movies by now. But we're, it's such a modern day thing to just want it now. I want it now. You know what I mean? Like, it's only 10 p.m. Yeah, it's not even 10 p.m. for me, Dale. You know what I mean? It's not that late. It might be the middle of the night for you, Mike Porter. And for that, I apologize, my friend. But thank you for being here. If they announce the movie at Celebration and it doesn't happen, at the end of the day, this project will haunt Lucasfilm. I don't know if that's true, because they've already done stuff like that, my guy. Like, I get what you're saying. If they announce it at the Celebration and there's not another Celebration for 2 years, but there's still 2 years to make this movie, and they're working on it. We got to be patient, man. I think in 2 years, we're going to be, 8 months away from the newest Star Wars movie coming, and we're all going to forget that this part of the time period ever happened where we're going. If this movie doesn't happen, I still think it's going to happen, man. I think it's going to happen. I think that they're figuring out the movie side of things, and that's been a top priority for them this year in particular. Big Thrawn announcement at Star Wars Celebration, in my honest opinion, says Jedi Mike. Do it. Yes, good. What time is it in Hawaii? Oh, man. I think it's like I want to say it's like 6 or 7 hours. I really don't know. For me, no, it's not. There's no way. It's like 3 or 4. It's probably like 6, 7 p.m. there. It's 5? Oh, okay. So it's 4. That's probably so confusing. Okay. We're still on the Lindelof thing here behind me, huh? That's funny. All right, let's get back into the layer. Actually, I don't know. If you guys have any Bad Batch or Mandalorian stuff, throw it in. If you got any predictions for tonight. You know what? Screw it. Before we get into the Bad Batch preview, let's check out this Jedi Survivor official trailer. For the official story trailer, I guess, is what I should say. Let me fix this real quick on the screen so you guys can see that a little better. And then I'm excited to watch this with you guys. I've only seen it like one time all the way through. I did watch it without you guys. I know, terrible Sheev. But I'm excited to watch it through again here, and then we're going to get into some of the cool little Easter eggs that you can see in this, or what we can kind of pick out before this trailer becomes the game when we start playing that. All right, let's check this out. I'm going to try to make sure that we can hear the audio. Hopefully it comes through. Let me know in the chat, and let's try playing it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Do it. Yo!
It's been a long 5 years.
Been a long 5 years. Yeah, it's been 5 years since the last game. Whew, I can already tell these graphics are gonna look good. What's that, Coruscant?
You've tried to resist.
Resist. Okay, so Cal is joining up with the rebellion, I guess.
Fear and mistrust.
Oh my god, it's Gleb Shadow. Yo, hold up. That was kind of sick. Was that a crossguard? I think we saw that in one of the other trailers already, but that's sick. Maybe that's how Cal's gonna figure out how to make a crossguard saber there. That's pretty dope, though. Kind of a different style than almost has like a Rebels thinness to the crossbars. You know what I mean? That's pretty sick, though. Sabersmith says, Marin, yes!
Cal, look into the fire.
Marin, let's go! So we get our first confirmation that Marin is going to be in the game. Let's go! And she does look a little updated. Again, the graphics are looking fantastic. And you can even tell that Cal's got a thing for her. Look, get yourself a partner that looks at you the way that Cal Kestis is looking at Marin there. You know what I mean? The game looks sick, Mike Porter. It does. Grease is back, and he's got a cool haircut.
But left unchecked.
Oh, I love that hilt.
It will consume everything.
Oh, this game's looking sick.
Until there is only ash.
How could you let the galaxy fall to this unworthy machine of an empire?
Damn. I think that guy's going to be hugely important to the story of the game. There you go, a Gundai.
I think we finally
Or a
found
Gendai.
somewhere the Empire can't reach us.
Alright, we got to watch through this again.
No more
But
looking over your shoulder.
sick.
A place that's worth fighting for, no matter the cost.
Yo! That's dope. Seer looks crazy. Let's go. April 28th, 2023. Can't come fast enough. Let's go. I'm hyped for Survivor, man. That's an awesome trailer there. Let's go through it again real quick. I want to pull up a Star Wars article as well and kind of talk about some of the things in this, because it was a pretty fire trailer, if I do say so myself. Let me know what you guys thought in the chat. Marry me, Marin, says Flying Fish. Oh, all of us. Taylor Sneed says, when I still haven't finished the game. Do it, man. The first game is freaking awesome. April 28th is when the next one's going to be coming out, so definitely make sure to finish it before then. Although I do think it may be a PS5 or like a next gen exclusive, so I don't know if you have a next gen yet, Taylor, but do it. Sabersmith says stormtroopers from Battlefront. Were they? It looked like the same Purge trooper that we're kind of used to there. We can even try and find it real quick. Looked like a lot of the same Purge troopers we're used to. I do think this part's really interesting with Cal Kestis talking about being part of the Resistance.
We've tried to resist.
We've tried to resist. Do you guys think that he's going to be part of the rebellion at this time period? I've kind of wondered if Cal Kestis is going to be part of the path that we see in Obi-Wan Kenobi. Kelsey, what is he doing? Oh my goodness, hold on. Kelsey, yo. Hey, what's up? Oh my goodness. Someone is making an absolute ruckus. I am sorry about that. Yes, the doggo says hello. Alright. So, where were we? We were talking about Survivor. Left us in the dark. She's tripping out. Oh, I don't know why she's tripping out tonight, but that's lovely background noise for me. Gotta be honest, not hyped on this game. Wasn't hyped on the first. It was okay. I know a lot of people just thought that it was kind of alright. I will say I'm really excited for it. I thought that the first game was really cool. It reminded me a lot of what they did with Sam Witwer back in the day with the Jedi. What are those games? The Force Unleashed games. I thought it reminded me a lot of those games, so I enjoyed the Jedi series a lot here. The doggo has taken over. Yes, it has indeed. But I'm pretty hyped for it. I think they've kept a lot of things under wraps. If I'm being honest, it seems like this guy that we get here in this next scene, he's going to be a High Republic character. You can kind of tell from the gold robes he's got on there and some of the other kind of stuff, the look he has even. I think this is the dude that we see in the back to tank in the original trailer, I guess. So this guy, I think, is going to be one of the main characters, and it looks like he's going to maybe even be using some bounty hunters and things at this time period to hunt down Cal maybe in the game. I don't know what his exact purpose is, but he seems pretty ticked off that the Jedi Order fell whenever he was in cryo sleep or whatever. You know what I mean?
How could you let the galaxy fall to this unworthy machine of an empire?
Yeah, he seems pretty ticked off. His saber does look pretty sick. Let's go back and look at that again. His saber looks pretty cool. I will say it looks like it might be a double hilt or a dual. I don't know what that's called. Double-sided saber, I guess. And which makes sense because that's a lot of what Cal Kestis' enemies have. Cal Kestis himself has dual wield and everything. So kind of a cool dual wield saber thing he's got going on. That would be cool if you can like upgrade to his, like make yours look like his at some point. I'm kind of curious how the health upgrades are going to be handled in this game. You know what I mean? I'm excited for it. My dog was just doing the same. KG, it happens. Must be the mailman. Yeah, Kelsey was definitely trying to get the mailman for sure. A double hilt, double bladed. Yeah, there you go. Double-sided blade or double-bladed lightsaber. I'm pretty hyped for it, though, if I'm being honest. Sabersmith says, looks like it. The tubes and stuff from the armor look like Battlefront. Interesting. Where was that? Was that at the beginning of the trailer? Let me look. Huh. I don't know if I noticed that. Maybe it is. The combo fighting is going to be awesome. Yeah, dude. It looks pretty cool with all the stances and everything they have. I'm excited for it. But I think this could even be that guy might even be a bounty hunter, because you know who knows how many lightsabers are out there in the galaxy that people have just found. You know what I mean, with all the Jedi that were killed during Order 66. I'm sure a lot of the sabers were brought in and everything, but maybe some people out there just found some. This might be, you know, one of the cases of that. Yo, what up, dat boy Steve? Hope you're doing well, man. Yeah, we are talking Jedi Survivor right now. We're also talking about everything going on tonight with all the new episodes of Star Wars, Chapter 20 of The Mandalorian as well. We were just kind of finishing up here with this guy, but I do want to get into a Star Wars article, so let me look that up real quick. .gov. So this is the Jedi Survivor article I wanted to get into, if I can find it. 5 things we noticed in Star Wars Jedi Survivor story trailer. Let's go over this real quick together. So the first thing that they noticed was the return of Merrin. So real quick, a new story trailer for Star Wars Jedi Survivor is here, but it's much more than its name implies. There are exciting teases about the plot, sure, but also new looks at the gameplay, characters, worlds, abilities, mysterious objects, and set pieces as we get ready for the return of Cal Kestis and his friends. When Jedi Survivor hits on April 28th, here are 5 things that we saw from the story trailer that grabbed our attention. The return of Merrin. Cal Kestis' Night Sister ally Merrin is back. Demonstrating an impressive display of power, including magics, and hand-to-hand combat, but just as impactful are her words of wisdom, which also sound like a warning. Of course, she does say, look into the fire, and kind of gives a little warning to Cal Kestis as well in that trailer. They also say that Grease's greeting, which again, Grease has a new little hairdo and he's got some crazy hair going on. He looks kind of like more like the dude this game, which I'm down with. He looks pretty sick. Merrin isn't the only familiar face in the trailer. In a war moment, Stinger Mantis Captain Grease embraces Cal. We're reminded that he didn't escape the events of Jedi Fallen Order unscathed, however, as one of his 4 arms now appears to be cybernetic. Dang, I forgot that Grease lost an arm, dude. That's pretty wild to see there. Yeah, one of his arms does appear to be cybernetic. The next thing they noticed is the Jedi tunic of gold. In a brief tense scene, we glimpse Cal with someone who looks like a Jedi, and not just any guardian of peace and justice. The mysterious figure has a lightsaber clipped to his belt, but more interesting are the details of his outfit. Look closely and you'll see the gold accents, a staple of the Jedi tunics and robes from the High Republic era, along with the High Republic crest. The High Republic was the prime of the Jedi Order centuries before the time of Cal Kestis. So who could this be? Why is he alive? We have a lot of questions, indeed. They also noticed the puzzle masters in it as well. The trailer showcases some excellent looking action, but we see a glimpse at some of the intriguing puzzles and gameplay. In one sequence, Cal levitates some sort of orb, onto the dock, revealing a hidden bridge. The Force comes in handy sometimes, which we saw with the Mandalorian just a few episodes as Grogu used the Force to spin around in his chair and use it to grab some candy. It was real handy then. We also see tag team action, which I definitely noticed in the trailer as well, with the new AI companion gameplay. Once again, looking like a major addition to the Star Wars Jedi series. In separate scenes, we see Cal teaming up with both Bode and Merrin, which Bode was that new character that we saw talking alongside Cal there for a second. And Merrin, of course, teaming up with her. I think we may even team up a little bit with BD1, which would be really cool to see too. So the action seems to be smooth and fast. It opens up all kinds of in-game possibilities. Make sure to check out that trailer again and rewind if you want to go see the reaction to it. But I'm hyped for it, man. I definitely think that Jedi Survivor is going to be a good time. I'm going to be playing it here on the channel, and I can't wait for it. Let's get into the next part of the stream, which is our Bad Batch preview. So let's do it. How are we feeling about Bad Batch Season 2, Episode 14 tonight? I know some people were kind of like feeling whatever about Pabu last week. I really liked it, to be honest. I thought it was like a 7 or so, I think, at the time last week. But I'm warming up on it. Let's talk about Bad Batch. Sit down, because I got some thoughts. There were a lot of people on Twitter today speculating about Pabu the beach planet that we saw that the Empire would never come to, according to the characters that lived on that planet. But I think that the Empire is gonna find Pabu, and I don't know how exactly, although I have some thoughts, I have some theories, but I'm excited to see tonight's episode because it is kind of like a semi-finale, I guess you could say, for the 2-part finale that we're going to be getting next week. This is also the last episode that the screeners or people that were given the episodes early could see. So they were given episodes 1 through 14. So nobody has seen the last 2 episodes after this one, and I think this one's going to set up for what we see next week. What I think is going to happen tonight is that Pabu is going to get overrun by the Empire. Like we've seen the Empire do a million times over in the Bad Batch, and just in general, whether it's Andor, Bad Batch, during this time period, the Empire it take over. That's what they do. I think we're going to see the Empire take over Pabu. And when they do, I think Omega's going to get taken. Because, I mean, that is kind of the thing right now. Right now, the Empire is not only after the Bad Batch for escaping the scene of the Zillo Beast. Like, literally, there were some clones that were like, yo, that ship that just fled, go make sure that we track that down so that no word of the Zillo Beast gets out. And they were like, go get him. We also know that the Prime Minister basically told Dr. Hemlock a couple of episodes ago that if you want to get to Nala Se, you gotta get Omega. Basically is what he said. Like, you gotta get this female clone that she had or was close to. And that's how she's gonna talk. Well, to add further kind of fuel to this fire, a lot of fans were speculating that Pabu is not just Pabu, but it's on the planet of Scarif. That's terrifying. That's so scary. And when you look at the outside of the planet when they're flying to it, it looks just like freaking Scarif, man. And it's like, dude, if the Bad Batch went to the one place in the galaxy they thought they were safe from the Empire and it becomes Scarif, oh my god. That's also, I think, the birthplace of the Death Troopers. At least the first time I think I remember seeing Death Troopers was from Rogue One footage of them walking along Scarif, although I think it was maybe even cut from the movie. But still, dude, I'm pretty sure that Scarif is Pabu. I am. I'm kind of pretty sure it is. Here, I'm gonna try to find some proof for you guys. But I'm pretty sure that Scarif is Pabu, and I think that they're gonna take over. And what might even happen, because Sid is probably gonna turn in the batch. Like, tonight's episode is called Tipping Point, so I think this is gonna be kind of a tipping point for the show, even. And I think that tonight they're gonna be chilling on Pabu. We're going to see Wrecker and all of them having a good time still. And the Empire's going to come. And I think stuff is going to go down at that point. So here, let me pull this up as kind of proof for why I'm kind of worried about what tonight's episode might be. Because look at this. Look, okay, sorry about the music, but look at this. The top one is Scarif from Rogue One. And the bottom one is... wrong way, Sheev. The bottom one is Pabu. That's Scarif, fam. that's Scarif, I'm pretty sure. So I'm worried for the Bad Batch. And since we're on the topic, let's go back here. Not that one. That's not the one. Here we go. So the Kiner brothers did their weekly Bad Batch kind of tease. And we did get this one from them yesterday with Wrecker punching a fish. And why did I click on that one again? Wrecker punching a fish. And yes, I do ship Tech and Fiji Noah. I think that's great. But this is pretty funny. I think this is going to just straight up be part of the episode with Wrecker punching a fish, if I'm being honest. Like, I think that might be what we end up seeing. But then they also had another post tonight. Of course, we did get a new Captain Rex poster, which makes me think maybe we're going to see Captain Rex in tonight's episode. But then they had this tweet as well up here, which this one I have no idea what's going on here. The Kiner brothers are wildin' today, it seems like. So yeah, that's what tonight's episode of Bad Batch is going to be about. But throw in your speculation. What do you guys think it's going to be about? And let's head back into the lair, because I have no idea what that means. I will say there was a little YouTube, like, I could go back, but you guys are not going to see it. Basically where it says mematic, you know, everybody, I was making the joke on Obsession's channel a week or two ago that every single one of those little things that the Kiner brothers did, or one of those teases that they made, was made through mematic. And today there was a little smudge under the mematic that if you zoomed in close enough, you could see a link to it, and somebody went to that link, and it was like a YouTube click for The Boys Are Back in Town. So maybe we're going to get Rex or Echo in this episode. Long shot on that one. But I thought it was a real fun one. I don't know. What I think is going to go down, though, I think that they're going to be on Pabu. I think it's going to become Scarif. And I think that maybe Crosshair gets sent after them, and whatever new form he's in. I don't know if that's exactly going to be the case. It might be next week when we see Crosshair. But I think that Fiji Noah is going to get ratted out by... Fiji Noah and the Bad Batch are going to get ratted out by the Empire. You know, I think it's going to be Sid that turns them in. Omega's going to get taken. The Bad Batch are going to get put into custody or something because of what they did. Or because they were there when the Zillow Beast thing happened, and because they're the Bad Batch and the Empire's after them anyway. So I think it's going to be a wild episode tonight. And I got a bad feeling at the end of it, things are going to go sour. That's my feelings at the moment, though. This will be a hell of an episode, says Brendan Alvarado. Apparently, man. Hey, Mike Porter, thank you for the love, my dude. Thank you for hanging out with me. I appreciate you. And I'll see you in the next one, my dude. Kendall says, see ya, Mike. Much love to you. Kunch, a.k.a. the Conqueror. I hope you're doing good, Kendall. I hate that I'll be asleep. See, Disney? You gotta quit it with these 9 or midnight releases Pacific time, man. It's not good for us. Hello there, General Grievous. Scorch does know their ship. Scorch does know their ship. That is true, Sabersmith. That's not a good thing. I'm worried for them, man. Some bad stuff is gonna... I mean, the Bad Batch will probably all survive. I think that there's gonna be a season 3, maybe a season 4, maybe a season 5, like I've been saying. But I do think that they're probably gonna survive this one. But it should be a hell of an episode, dude. Is the season 1... is the season finale 1 episode or 2, says Dat Boy Steve. It's going to be 2. So we have episode 14 of the Bad Batch tonight. Episodes 15 and 16 are going to be next week. And we're going to be getting 3 episodes of Star Wars next week, man. That's freaking dope. We're going to be getting 2 episodes of Bad Batch and 1 episode of The Mandalorian, which is going to kick off the second half of The Mandalorian as well. So tonight will be kind of a mid-season finale for The Mandalorian season 3, or a mid-season kind of episode. I don't know how to explain that, but it's going to be the mid-season for The Mandalorian, and then it'll be the final episode before our 2-part finale of The Bad Batch. We all going in blind next week, says Sabersmith. Oh, yeah, I'm going in blind every week. So the Empire going to send a bunch of as blind as I can be, to be honest. I try to stay away from spoilers, and I'm going to say it again, reiterate it. We're really trying to keep it kind of spoiler-free over here at the Lair. I really want the channel to be a place of positivity for Star Wars fans to come hang out, talk about Star Wars, you know, get some Star Wars info, ask about some Star Wars lore questions, you know, because I know some of it's hella confusing. I'm gonna be honest. There's a lot of it, you know what I mean? I got a lot of Star Wars knowledge up here, So if you guys are more casual fans potentially, or don't know as much even, or have some family members that don't know as much and need some kind of explanation, I know a lot of you guys are hardcores, but I'm here for it, man. Michael says, hey Vader's Lair, I'm waiting for Ahsoka. Me too. I can't wait for Ahsoka. It's gonna be so good. But I'm just saying, we're trying to keep the spoilers away. We're trying to make it a fun place. So I appreciate all you guys. We can all be respectful here. And that's kind of the whole point of Vader's Lair, man. To have a cool, respectful, and chill place to hang and talk some Star Wars. Jason Strope says, Sheev, what up, bro? What up, chat? Good to see you in the chat, Jason Strope. Geek Ledger says, I'm kind of surprised that Vader hasn't cameoed in the Bad Batch yet. I mean, we got Palpatine in the series premiere and in Season 2, Episode 8. Yeah, I think that's because Palpatine's really a key figure at this time for the whole galaxy, of course. And Vader's kind of being kept a secret, doing the dirty work, taking out Jedi. Which, I mean, there aren't many Jedi, really, at this period anymore. A lot of them were killed in the first episode, you know what I mean? So, it kind of makes sense we haven't seen Vader. I wouldn't imagine that we don't see him the entire show, though. You know, like, I think at some point we could see him. And that's the whole thing. They want to use Vader sparingly. They don't have to throw him in everything. And it's so cool when they do. So it could easily be something that's saved for the show. And maybe Vader ends up killing some of the Bad Batch members at the end. You know, because that's the other thing. You can't really bring the Vader into the Bad Batch and have the Bad Batch escape from it. You know what I mean? Like, they're not going to beat Vader. Like, look at what Vader did when Cal Kestis had to fight up against him. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't have a chance. Like, so whenever they do put Vader in the Bad Batch, if they do, it's not going to be good for whoever he ends up going against. You know what I mean? So they can't use him a lot because that'll be it. Being respectful. Yes, like Boba Fett. I'm going to rule with respect. The Flying Fish says, taking a hit and watching the Star Wars parties each week has created some dope vibes. Indeed it has, my man. And I'm always here for it, dude. It's a great time in the fandom. It's a great time to be a Star Wars fan, as I like to say. And that's really the whole thing, is I just enjoy Star Wars so much that I wanted to have a place where you guys can feel safe and feel like you can enjoy Star Wars too. Because that's why hate on it, man? What's the point? What's the point of hating on this thing we love? Like, sure, we can be critical of how they're running Lucasfilm at times or whatever, with the whole Damon Lindelof thing and the creatives that have left, creative differences or whatever is going on, like I said. But I think it's just fun to be a Star Wars fan. It's fun to get this new content. It's fun to get the Mandalorian too, man. This stuff is so good. You know, a lot of fans were talking about, I want the Mandalorian on the big screen. I think that's something they definitely need to do at some point. You know, however long the Mandalorian ends up going, like they got to give us some Mandalorian movies or something at some point. Wish it was always like this, you know, dude. I think it is though. Like, it's gonna be we're getting Ahsoka soon. We're getting Skeleton Crew after that. Like, there's so much stuff coming around the corner. I wouldn't even be surprised if there's a little tease for Skeleton Crew in the next couple of episodes in The Mandalorian too. So we'll see. Is it dropping earlier? Last week I was late. Yes, so anybody that hasn't been to our watch parties, I have noticed, and shout out to the homie Tim for really kind of pointing this out to me, but I have noticed that Lucasfilm or Disney has been releasing the Mandalorian episodes about 10 minutes early. About 10 minutes early each week. So if you guys are going to be in the watch party later, which we're going to start around 11:30 Pacific time. Keep on saying Pacific Standard Time. But Pacific time, if around 11:30 Pacific time, 2:30 a.m. Eastern time, we're going to be doing our watch party for The Mandalorian. And the episode should be dropping around 11:30 p.m. Pacific time. About 2:50 p.m. Eastern time. So make sure to be there before 11:50 p.m. Pacific time, and you'll be there in time for the watch party. I can't wait to see you guys there. We're going to get on out of here in the next minute or two. So if you guys have any last questions or things you want to ask before the episodes tonight, or just want to say in general, throw them into the chat. Throw in your supers if you got any last ones. I appreciate you all for being here. Thank you all for hanging out. Luis Escalante, it was good to see you, my man. Geek Ledger, good to see you too. He says, random question, should theatrical Star Wars movies stay live action, or is it okay to occasionally have animated movies? I feel like we already have animated movies, man. That's a cool thing too that fans don't really appreciate enough. Is I feel like the Siege of Mandalore was kind of an animated movie in a way. The intro to the Bad Batch was in its own way kind of an animated movie. Dude, yeah, I think an animated Star Wars movie should be welcomed. You know, I think that they definitely should do that. It's definitely cheaper to do. Their animation department is fantastic. I mean, look at what they do with these Bad Batch episodes and how beautiful they look. Like, imagine giving them an actual sizable budget for an animated movie. That's a brilliant idea. I don't know why they haven't done that. You know what I mean? Like, Datboy Steve says, to be fair, Cal should have died against Vader, but he was able to get away. Maybe the Bad Batch can encounter and escape Vader. I don't think so. Cal Kestis is a little more powerful than the Bad Batch. I know it's all like story, so sure, you could have the Bad Batch go up against Vader. I just feel like a lot of fans would be like, oh, of course they survive kind of thing. But that's what I'm saying. Like, there's got to be consequences if they go up against Vader. So that's just my opinion. Mando on the big screen sounds like an awesome idea, doesn't it, Brandon? I'm here for it, man. I'm totally up for a full-length animation, says Don. Yes, please do it, Lucasfilm. We want it. Disney, let them do it as well. Flying Fish says we're the only people who continue to think about this stuff the day after, so we'll have the frustration with the stories. I guess. I don't know what you're saying. Jason says, hasn't been fun to be a fan of anything recently the past few months with all the hate. Well, that's why we got places like Vader's Land, my guy. We take things too serious sometimes, man. I mean, when you really think about it, these stories are meant for hope and inspiration and to inspire us. You know, that's the whole point of storytelling. It's kind of to inspire, to make people feel a certain feeling. If you're feeling anger at Star Wars, like, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you, because I just feel happiness when I watch this stuff, man. Even if it's not what I was expecting, I was like, dang, all right, that wasn't what I was expecting, but I'm here for it. I see kind of what they're trying to say. You know what I mean? I try to look at it from different perspectives, because Star Wars comes from so many different perspectives. You know what I mean? Especially now that it is with Disney. That's the other thing. It used to only be created by one dude with maybe a director here or there. You know what I mean? Even then, I think George Lucas, even back in the day, went through a number of directors with his movies. So it's not only a Lucasfilm under Disney thing even. You know what I mean? Like, it's part of the business. But yeah, I don't know, man. They should definitely do some animated movies. I'm with that. I think you guys solved the problem. Yeah, same here, Sheev, says Sabersmith. When we have gotten 2 Star Wars shows at the same time, yes, it's amazing time right now, man. That's what I think. That's why I'm so, like, happy as a fan these days. Like, when it comes to these watch parties and everything every week, I've been busy as hell. I've been stressed out as hell in real life. And life be stressful as hell sometimes for everybody. Oh my god, he did not just gift 50 of them. Vito, I can't with you, my guy. I've been stressed out as hell. And Star Wars just makes me feel freaking happy and giddy, man. Like, it's fun to come back every week. Lord Vito, thank you for the 50 Vader's Lair memberships, dude. I can't believe you. What is that? I doubt that there's even going to be 50 people that can even accept these memberships. But thank you, Vito. And if you end up becoming a membership or a member, like a lot of you guys in the chat are, Game Mind, welcome to Vader's Lair. Welcome to the dark side. Sabersmith, welcome to the dark side. Make sure to thank Vito for the 50 Vader's Lair memberships. You're crazy, my dude. Much love to you, Vid. Always coming in here and gifting memberships. Vito, you're an awesome dude. He said, because sad spelled backwards is das, and das not good. Well, you das goat. Thank you, Vito, for the 50 memberships, man. I really can't say appreciate it. I can't appreciate it enough, man. Thank you. Kendall, welcome to the dark side. You've been gifted a membership by Lord Vito. Thank you, bro. Vito, you always leave me speechless when you do this, man. The best member of this. He's definitely one of the best, indeed. I got hella love for Vid. You know what though? I got hella love for all you guys, and I love that Vito does this, because that just, while Vito is definitely an awesome and valued member of this community, he's doing something awesome to make everybody else feel like a valued member of this community, giving away memberships and everything. So I appreciate every single one of you guys that are here and are a part of this membership. And Vito, I definitely appreciate the hell out of you, my man. You gotta do this at the beginning, not the end. Hey, Vito, I definitely will keep doing what I'm doing. Someone's got to spread the Star Wars love and positivity out there. I know there's a lot of other channels that do it, and I appreciate you guys for coming to this channel, because we are always going to be doing it. We are always going to be keeping Star Wars positive. We're always going to be having a good time. Thank you all for keeping the spoilers out of it tonight. Try to keep it out of it later. I'm going to see you guys in a little bit. Before we go, Cranky Winter says, do you think Grogu is the chosen one? I do have a video on that if you want to go check it out, or I did a live stream on it. I don't know if he's exactly the chosen one of the Jedi prophecy. I don't think that's the case. I think Anakin was the chosen one, you know what I mean? But I think that Grogu was the chosen one for the Mandalorians. And I think tonight, with the episode 4 of season 3, I think tonight we could see the beginning of that journey for Grogu, becoming the chosen one of the Mandalorians. I can't wait for it though. I'll see you guys in a little bit at 11:30 Pacific time. Thank you all for hanging out with me in the chat. The 42 viewers that are in here, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Subscribe. Smash that like button. I'll see you guys soon for our watch party for the Mandalorian season 3. It's about to be hype. Peace. I love you guys. Peace.